BJP taunts Jinnah party.
Kerala has become the laboratory for the ISIS, for fundamentalism. He doesn't have the capability to understand.
Showdown over Congress's Kerala ally. Muslim League, secular or communal? Top focus on 6 p.m. Prime with Gaurav Sawant.
Is the Muslim League secular or communal? Rahul Gandhi called the Indian Union Muslim League secular. The BJP has come out all guns blazing, saying Jinnah's Muslim League was responsible for partition of India on religious lines. How's Rahul Gandhi calling it secular? The Congress hit right back, telling the BJP to get its facts right. That's up top political story on the broadcast. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines at 6. Details of the FIR against Wrestling Federation boss Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh accessed by India today. The BJP MP stands accused of demanding sexual favors from athletes. Rakesh Taket sets the June 9 deadline for Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh's arrest. India's 1983 World Cup winning squad issues a statement on the wrestlers' protest, urges the athletes not to immerse their medals in River Ganga, advises them against acting in haste. Big move by Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. All 5 freebie promised by the Congress to be implemented in the current financial year. BJP hits out at Rahul Gandhi over his Muslim League secular remark. BJP asks, how can Jinnah's party responsible for partition be secular? Delhi liquor scam accused Manish Sisodia permitted to visit his wife at home from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. The court asks for her medical records. Law Commission report on Sedition access. Law panel report says sedition must be retained under the Indian Penal Code, says it is necessary to safeguard India's unity. In Washington, D.C., Congress leader Rahul Gandhi stirred a hornet's nest, calling the Indian Union Muslim League a secular party, insisting there is nothing unsecular about it. The BJP has come out all guns blazing, accusing Rahul Gandhi of issuing secular certificates to Muslim League because he needs minority votes to win in Wayanad in Kerala. There is now a massive war of words between the Congress and the BJP. That political slugfest is our top story.
Muslim League is a completely secular party.
Right.
There's nothing non-secular about the Muslim League.
Rahul Gandhi's description of the Indian Union Muslim League as a secular party has triggered a political storm. The Congress leader was replying to a question on the IUML, his party's ally in Kerala, at a press conference in Washington, D.C.
You talked about secularism and democracy while opposing the Hindu party BJP. However, Congress in Kerala has been in alliance with the Muslim party, Muslim League in Kerala, the state from which you were MP for more than, the state you are the MP for more than 70 years.
Muslim League is a completely secular party.
Right.
There's nothing non-secular about the Muslim League.
The BJP claims the IUML has its roots in Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Muslim League and blamed it for dividing India on religious lines.
I don't blame him. It's in his DNA. But I think it's extremely unfortunate. Certain people worship the family. He goes abroad, denigrates the country, the Prime Minister and all its citizens. I think this is not acceptable.
तो हम सब लोगों ने सुना होगा पहले कि किसी का दिमाग 7वें आसमान पे पहुंच जाए तो उसे कुछ समझ में नहीं आता। मुझे लगता है राहुल गांधी जब 7 समंदर पार जाते हैं तो उनका दिमाग पता नहीं कहां हो जाता है।
ये वो मुस्लिम लीग है जिससे भारत
The Congress, however, drew a clear distinction between Jinnah's Muslim League and the IUML. The party points out that the RSS and Jinnah's Muslim League stayed out of the civil disobedience movement.
जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग अलग है और यहाँ केरल में मुस्लिम लीग है वो अलग है। दिग्भ्रमित करने के लिए लगातार इस प्रकार की बातें वो कर रहे हैं।
जिस मुस्लिम लीग का उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया है वो केरला की है और उस मुस्लिम लीग में हिंदू भी मेंबर है, ये आपको जानकारी नहीं होगी। और एक समय पर हिंदू मुस्लिम लीग का अध्यक्ष हुआ करता था।
Rahul Gandhi represented Wayanad, a Muslim majority seat in the Lok Sabha before being disqualified from parliament. The BJP has mocked Rahul, claiming he made the remark to remain acceptable in his constituency. Bureau Report, India Today.
So, is the Indian Union Muslim League secular? Let's take some aspects and we'll discuss more during the debate. One aspect is the riots that took place, perhaps the worst in Kerala, the Marad riots. The allegation is, and the investigation says, accused of fanning Kerala's worst communal carnage. IUML leaders stand accused of funding and executing the riots. IUML leaders have been named. PP Moideen Koya and Moin Haji have been named in an FIR that charges the IUML not just with conspiracy, it says conspiracy with Muslim fundamentalists and terrorists. The BJP and the Congress are at each other's throat over Rahul Gandhi's comments at the press club in Washington, calling the Indian Union Muslim League a secular party. The BJP says Rahul Gandhi needs Muslim votes in Wayanad after losing Amethi and is forced to issue secular certificates. Let me now get you the latest on this big debate. Joining us from the Congress party is Supriya Srinath. Shehzad Poonawala leads the charge from the BJP side. In a moment, we'll also be joined by India Today's Rahul Srivastav for perspective on the story. But Supriya Srinath, Rahul Gandhi calls the IUML completely secular party, saying there's nothing non-secular about them. Mahesh Jethmalani says Rahul Gandhi is either naive, intellectually challenged or politically dishonest. The definition of secular is not connected with religious or spiritual matters. A party that defines itself in terms of religion or religious community cannot be secular. Respond, ma'am.
So Mahesh Jethmalani lost his objectivity a long time back. He's a spokesperson of the BJP. Please don't quote him as saying the gospel's truth. He's lost his objective marbles many years back. Please do not quote him. But I will say that the electoral political semblance of the BJP is in tatters. They actually got confused. You know, when their IT cell fake news factory head put out tweets about this, they actually got confused. They don't even know the difference between the Muslim League of Jinnah, with which Shama Prasad Mukherjee was running governments in Bengal, the Northwest Frontier Province and Sindh, and advising the British to somehow quell the 1942 Quit India movement. That's not the Muslim League we are talking about. We are talking about the IUML, and there is a difference. And just because you are raising questions on their credentials, let me remind your august audience here. In 2012, the Bharatiya Janata Party in Nagpur, the citadel, the seat of the RSS in Nagpur, they formed a coalition government for the local bodies there with the IUML. So the IUML is absolutely secular when the BJP touches it, but it's become problematic when anybody else does. And just a little dose of law for this country, for anybody who cares to know. Somebody like Mr. Jethmalani, who charges big money from his clients, certainly should know the law. There is no registration for any political party that's possible if the party boasts of any religious credentials. You've got to be a secular party to be registered as a political party. But having said that, I just want to tell you what are the credentials of IUML and how is the BJP related to it before I go any further. The IUML was founded by Mr. Ismail, who was a member of the Constituent Assembly, no less than the Constituent Assembly. During the 1962 Indo-China War, he instructed his son, Mr. Mia Khan, to go and join the Indian Army. E. Ahmed was one of their ministers who by Atalji was sent on a delegation to Geneva. So obviously the party did not have bad credentials. The IUML in Kerala runs the biggest, one of their ministers, Mr. Bashir, who was the education minister, set up the biggest Sanskrit university in Kerala. And like I said, just let me remind our viewers here, the IUML is absolutely all right when BJP wants to join hands and form a local body government in Nagpur, but becomes problematic when anybody else
You made
does.
your point.
The reality
Shehzad
is that they had to do face saving because they got confused between the two entities.
Congress says, get your facts right. The IUML is not Jinnah's Muslim League. Jinnah's party may have been responsible for India's partition on religious lines, not the party that fights elections here in India and the party whose credentials Supriya Srinath just read out.
Look, Gaurav, I have heard the previous speaker with complete courtesy, so I hope that is extended to me also. पहले तो गौरव जी, जिनको ओसामा में जी, हाफिज में सईद, 26/11 में आरएसएस की साजिश, इशरत में बेटी, याकूब और अफजल गुरु में हालात का मारा दिखता हो, उनको अगर पीरजादा के बाद सेकुलर फरिश्ता नजर आता है मुस्लिम लीग में, जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग में, तो ये स्वाभाविक बात है. This is nothing to keep a surprise at all. I'll tell you why. 2 or 3 reasons. First of all, ex-cabinet minister in Madhya Pradesh of Congress party made a statement that Jinnah actually partitioned the country in good wisdom. Shatrughan Sinha, when he was with Congress, said that Jinnah is part of Congress family. These are recorded, documented statements even by India Today. But let's move on from there. She has made statement about Mohammad Ismail. Let me ask 3 specific questions of Mohammad Ismail. Was a Mohammad Ismail, who was also by the way called Qaid-e-Millat, not Qaid-e-Rashtr, not Qaid-e-Desh or Qaid-e, for any word used for country, Qaid-e-Millat, matlab milli ka. Now, that person, was it true or not true that he was a member of Jinnah's Muslim League? And what was the fundamental demand of Muslim League of Jinnah? Separate state for Muslims and Sharia law. Second, when this entire plan after Muslim League disbanded, after creation of Pakistan was done, is it true or not true? And I'm quoting from online Manorama, which is Malayala Manorama, and the article talks about how Prime Minister Nehru objected to the reorganization and revival of Muslim League. He said to Lord Mountbatten, Governor General, that Mr. Muhammad Ismail should be asked to abandon the idea. If this man was such a patriotic man, why was Nehruji asking such a patriotic man to abandon the idea? And it also in a sense talks about how that party, the Muslim League of Jinnah, was not finding Congress secular at that time, and therefore if you are saying Muslim League is today secular, then you are in a sense saying that Congress was not secular. Third point I want to ask, that this is the same Muslim League. She has said that it is, she gave some legal points, that because it is a registered party, so on and so forth. The Hindu Mahasabha is also registered. It fights elections and it is operating under the constitution. By that logic, will Supriya Srinath say Hindu Mahasabha is also secular, or is this only reserved for some parties which you have vote bank alliance with? And forget everything else. Today Ramesh Chennitala, who's Ramesh Chennitala? Ex-president of Kerala Congress, says that it is an extremist party. Forget that. Look at their actions now. The actions of, you have talked about the riots, the participation in riots. They are the ones who oppose the triple talaq law which was ordained by the Supreme Court. They have gone and also said that we want Sharia law to be imposed. When they formed one of the state committees in the states, they wanted the marriage age reduced to 16 and to below 18 so that child marriage could be permitted. This is the trajectory with which Muslim League has gone. Today, therefore, I ask, if by the logic of law and constitution, Muslim League is secular for them, the same Muslim League whose Jinnah's founding member came and made that party, then is Hindu Mahasabha secular? Yes or no?
Supriya Srinath, respond to that. The BJP also says Rahul Gandhi has a compulsion to remain acceptable in Wayanad, so he calls the Indian Union Muslim League a secular party.
You know, I still haven't got an answer to my very basic question. If the IUML is problematic, why did the BJP join hands with the IUML for forming a government in a local body in Nagpur? That's the only question that needs an answer today. And the second question that needs an answer today is, Jinnah's Muslim League was in bed and in partnership with Shyama Prasad Mukherjee in Northwest Frontier Province, in Sindh, in Bengal. Why were they in bed with the Jinnah's Muslim League? And quite frankly, in 1942, when under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, and of course when Maulana Azad was our president, we called for the Quit India movement. Guess what Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was doing? He was telling the British how to quell that movement with an iron fist. These are the only two questions that deserve
I'll
an
answer this very
answer.
quickly.
Okay.
Why were you in bed with
Fair enough.
Muhammad
The
Ali
current
Jinnah's
question,
Muslim
I'll
League
come to
in
you. We'll go back into
1942?
history.
And why were
We'll
you
come back
joining
into
hands
current
with them?
times. So
Very quickly.
Shehzad Poonawala, quickly.
Very
BJP
quickly.
attacking the IUML, but the Congress says 2012. You took support of 2 members of the IUML to retain power in the Nagpur Municipal Corporation. So if they're acceptable to the BJP, then what's wrong with Rahul Gandhi calling them secular now or saying there's nothing unsecular about them?
First of all, let me appreciate that the robust defense being given for Muslim League secular credentials, the party of Jinnah, has not been seen when Mr. Rahul Gandhi attacked Dandavat Pranam. That time, no robust defense was given that no, Dandavat Pranam is not lying down. But today they have come out in defense of Muslim League. Let me answer that question. Let's assume for a minute that what Supriya is saying is factually correct. Although she should show where is the alliance letter of 2012, where we have taken or given support and alliance to them in Nagpur. She should present that letter. But if they were in alliance with us, then on an ideological level, what kind of party they are having alliance with that they come and do an alliance with us in 2012 when they have a government in Maharashtra and they are with them in alliance in Kerala, and at that time they had a government with them in Kerala between 2011 and 2016. So are you saying that IUML is such a politically adulterous party? You understand the word? Political bigamy ऐसा चलता है कि बीजेपी को एक जगह पटाया और दूसरी जगह कांग्रेस को पटाया. So therefore this is not तर्क संगत, this is not logical or factual. She should show the letter of alliance first of all. Secondly, I have asked Supriya Shinit and I consider her to be a very well researched spokesperson. Madam, if this Muhammad Ismail, was he a member of Jinnah's party? Question number 1. Question number 2, did Nehruji oppose him forming the Indian franchisee, the Indian outlet of Muslim League? Question number 2. Answer these 2 questions specifically. And if so, why did Mr. Nehru oppose him? If he was such a great secular Rashtrawadi.
Supriya Shinit, 30 seconds before I bring in Rahul Srivastava, ma'am.
So are you... No, sure. But I am quite amazed that an alliance that was made in full public glare, the alliance that was made in Nagpur, is being denied on India Today channel.
No alliance.
Quite publicly. You were in alliance with IUML. That's
Never.
point number 1. 1 second, and I have had every factual evidence.
Never.
You know it you know it. But the reality is that the BJP spokesperson and the BJP fake news factory heads don't even know the difference between IUML and Muslim League. Yes,
Muhammad
it is
Ismail,
true that
was he
Mr.
part of
Advani in
Jinnah's
2005
Muslim League, yes or no?
praised Jinnah's Muslim League while he was in Pakistan. Mr. Advani did that. Did Mr. Advani
Supriya
praise Muslim
Srinate,
League or
the
not?
question
Yes,
is
he did.
simple
Are
and
we standing
factual.
with Jinnah's
Was
Muslim League?
Muhammad
No, we are
Ismail
not.
a member
The
of
BJP
Jinnah's
is.
Muslim League? And secondly,
asking a
did
simple
Nehru
question.
oppose Mr.
Why were
Ismail
you in
forming the
partnership?
Indian brand or Indian
You cannot
franchisee
speak
of
over
Muslim
me.
League?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Simple.
One by one.
My question is also as
my
simple.
request
My
to
question is
both
also
our
as
guests.
simple. Just because
One by
you're sitting
one.
in the studio, do not misuse your position. No, 1 second, Gaurav Sawant. It is my turn to speak. I have a
Absolutely.
right to retort.
Absolutely.
My question is as simple. श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी क्यों जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग के साथ सरकारें चला रहे थे 1942 में जब भारत छोड़ो आंदोलन का आह्वान महात्मा ने दिया था? क्यों चला रहे थे सरकारें? क्यों अडवाणी जी ने 2005 में जाकर जिन्ना की तारीफ करी पाकिस्तान में?
मेरा प्रयास ये है कि हम 2023 में आए।
फैक्चुअल
Okay, Gaurav, Muhammad Ismail is the sansthapak of Muslim League in India.
Okay.
Yes.
I
No,
want
Gaurav,
to bring in Rahul
Gaurav, just
Srivastava.
5 seconds. Is Muhammad Ismail
He
the
was a member
founder
of the
Muslim League in
Constituent
India?
Assembly.
Yes or no?
Okay. Okay.
A member
No,
of
one
the
second,
Constituent
Gaurav, I want to ask
Assembly.
Gaurav, just give me 5 seconds. I promise
of
just
the
5 seconds.
Constituent
Gaurav, just 5
Assembly.
seconds with you. Muhammad Ismail is the founder of IUML. Was he part of Jinnah's Muslim League? Yes or no? Anybody can Google it. India Today के शानदार दर्शक, गौरव जी के दर्शक, Google करके बता दो. If I am lying, they'll expose me. If
झूठ
Supriya is
बोल
lying,
रहे हो तुम
Supriya is
यहाँ पर.
exposed. I throw an open challenge.
I want to come back. I'm going to come back.
I have just 1 point to raise.
I want to bring in Rahul Srivastava. Give me 30 seconds, both of
think,
you.
Gaurav, it's
Rahul
not fair.
Srivastava has
You are
been
not-
waiting very patiently. Rahul, weigh in on Rahul Gandhi calling the Indian Union Muslim League completely secular party, and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur saying they see Hindus as terrorists and Muslim League as secular.
Gaurav, political parties handing out these secular, communal, national, anti-national certificates is a separate debate. The Congress has tied up with Shiv Sena, which was at one time communal. The BJP tied up with PDP. So these are debates which are different. If you see the current context in the last 50 odd years, one can say that the IOML has tried to establish itself, its legitimacy as a political party representing minority interest within the what I call the pluralistic Indian polity. There have been not many charges vis-a-vis anti-Hindu statements and others. They attack the BJP. That's a different matter altogether. What Shehzad says, rightly, history records it. I don't know whether it really happened, but history records it. The Jawaharlal Nehru, with the divisive agenda of Jinnah, did oppose the reorganization of Muslim League if that was happening. And in fact, he told Lord Mountbatten, the Governor General at that time, that the government eventually should be crushing these kind of attempts. But, Gaurav, what in the last few years one has known the IUML, I will like to relate that it is more steeped in orthodoxy and conservatism. The ban on Haritha movement, the students' union, that it was dissolved in 2021 when there were sexual charges, harassment charges leveled by girls. January 2023, the LGBTQ community, the remarks were regressive. December 2021, Abdul Rahman Radat Ali spoke against the mixed schooling being given students, boys and girls sitting together. They said that it will promote homosexuality. Beyond that, let's see what political parties have been doing. 20th March 2023, RSS leaders who were at that time on a Muslim outreach program with Jamaat-e-Ulama Hind and others, PN Ishwaran, State Prant Karewah of the RSS, he said that the IUML, despite the IUML coalition with the Congress, was a democratic party and did not promote extremist views.
Okay.
KNA Khadir of the IUML was there at a function called Sneh Bodhi Cultural Meeting in the Kesari Bhavan in Kozhikode, June 2022. So RSS has been making overtures to the IUML.
I'll get Shehzad Poonawala to respond to that, but I want to bring in Supriya Srinath also into this conversation. Supriya Srinath, don't go by what the BJP says. What do you make of Pinarayi Vijayan, the Chief Minister of Kerala, hitting out at the IUML for what he says that they were holding secret talks with the SDPI? He said, and I quote, "We will be able to defend secularism only if we adopt an uncompromising stand against communal forces." Pinarayi Vijayan is hitting out at the IUML and the UDF, saying you should not compromise on secularism for the sake of votes.
No, fair enough, and I will just answer the question on Pinarayi Vijayan, but because Rahul Srivastav brought up Nehru, I must turn around and ask him only two questions to him and the BJP. I think not to Rahul so much, but the BJP. Was Atal Bihari Vajpayee wrong in sending a minister, E. Ahmed of the IUML, to the Geneva as a member of the delegation? That's question number one. And question number two, Mr. Ismail was a member of the Constituent Assembly. Baba Sahab Ambedkar was the chairman. I mean, he was calling the shots for all practical purposes. I just want to know, were Baba Sahab Ambedkar and Atal Bihari Vajpayee wrong? Okay. That's the question that the BJP must answer. And to your question on Pinarayi Vijayan, Pinarayi Vijayan is in opposition with the IUML. So he's obviously going to cast aspersions and raise doubts. What's so weird about that?
Okay. Just casting aspersions, fair enough. Ma'am, you made your point. So I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you with what the police are also saying. But Shehzad Poonawala, respond.
Supriya gave an example of E. Ahmed being sent by Mr. Vajpayee, and therefore that establishes his so-called secular credentials. By that logic, Narsimha Rao ji sent Vajpayee ji to United Nations to fight our case for Pakistan. Why do they call BJP communal? By the same logic, why do they call Hindu Mahasabha communal? It is registered, it is a registered party under the Constitution of India, practices and even contests election. And third point, the IUML backed Zakir Naik, and this is the statement quoted in Hindu. Bid to oppose Sharia law, a Himalayan mistake, IUML official statement 2016. Supriya ji, संविधान में विश्वास रखिएगा या शरिया में? अब इस पे वैचारिक रूप से आप कांग्रेस पार्टी का स्टैंड बताइए कि डू यू वांट शरिया, बट आई वुड नॉट बी सरप्राइज बिकॉज यू हैव सेड जिन्ना इज पार्ट ऑफ आवर फैमिली, यू हैव सेड वी आर अ मुस्लिम पार्टी, एवरीवन, ऑल मुस्लिम्स मस्ट वोट फॉर अस, एंड यू हैव आल्सो गॉन एंड सेड कि मुस्लिम वोट नहीं देगा तो हम बर्बाद हो जाएंगे, फर्स्ट राइट ऑफ रिसोर्सेज ऑफ मुस्लिम्स. सो बाय दैट लॉजिक यू माइट इवन से शरिया इज फाइन, बट आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग यू एज अ प्रैक्टिसिंग मुस्लिम, I believe Samvidhan is above everything. Do you believe Sharia is above everything? IUML has taken the stand.
Supriya Srinath.
Gaurav Sawant, I will answer your questions, yes, but I will place certain facts on the record. She asked
me, I can answer her question, but she is lauded. She can't answer.
Go on, ma'am.
Let him speak. If he's sitting next to you and will go on.
No, absolutely not. Go on, ma'am.
ये राजघराना है क्या? हम सवाल नहीं पूछ सकते राजघराने से. वो हमसे 3 सवाल पूछी. उन्होंने बोला 2 सवाल है, बीजेपी के लिए सवाल है, मैंने सवाल का जवाब दिया. दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम. And I'm proud that I come from a charitra of chaiwalas. They come from Parivarwadi party. They don't even want to answer democratic questions.
On the issue, ma'am, if you'd like to answer that question, go on.
It's not if I would want to. You have called me to a show where you want me to participate on an issue. I will answer your questions and I will keep retorting and replying and responding to the allegations that
Fair
the BJP
enough.
is making. Questions will be asked of you.
Fair
Number
enough,
one.
ma'am. Supriya
And
Srinath, then
let me just
answer
put
my
some things on
question.
record. इनका तो
Answer
जिन्ना
my
का प्रगाढ़
question.
प्रेम सबको पता है।
Answer my question.
अरे प्रभु
My
बोलने तो
question.
दो।
मतलब
बोलने
मैंने
तो
तो
दो।
बोलने का दिया था, मैंने तो बोलने दिया था मैम उस समय. आप चुप रही.
आपने बोलने नहीं दिया था. बीजेपी का प्रवक्ता सवाल पूछेगा तो मैं नहीं बोलूंगी.
Fair enough.
मैं आपके क्वेश्चन का जवाब
Point
जरूर
taken.
दूंगी.
इसीलिए मैं प्रश्न पूछ रहा हूँ. इसीलिए मैं प्रश्न पूछ रहा हूँ. Go on, ma'am.
पूछो यार, क्या बकवास है. भाजपा का मुस्लिम लीग के साथ प्रगाढ़ प्रेम तो सारी दुनिया जानती है. जब 1942 का भारत छोड़ो आंदोलन का आह्वान हो रहा था, हर भारतीय सड़क पर था. उस समय श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी चिट्ठी लिख रहे थे ब्रिटिश हुकूमत को, ब्रिटानिया हुकूमत को. मुस्लिम लीग के साथ नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर प्रोविंस में, सिंध में और बंगाल में सरकार चला रहे थे. ये गलत है या सही है?
For the benefit of the show, this is the second time. This is the second time you've said that. This is the second time. This is the second time you've said that. But I will stay on current issues for the sake of the show. Rahul Srivastava, just a glance.
Since you won't let me talk,
I am letting you talk, but you're repeating yourself and
Gaurav, it's
repeating.
okay. You can do the show.
Fair enough. You want to get angry and leave? You be my guest.
I am asking
But I
because
want
I'm
you to
also
answer.
raising
I've
a
asked you a
question.
very specific question,
Because
ma'am.
I am also
The
raising
Indian
a question.
Union Muslim League manifesto says
No,
it
I'm
will
sorry, you are
work
not
to
asking me a
protect
specific
mosques,
question. You are
dargahs
not
and
letting me
graveyards.
speak.
Work for special quota for Muslims in police department. Talk of financial aid for marriages of Muslim orphans. Is that secular, ma'am?
So, with all these things, if the BJP can join hands with them, then why should you have an issue with the Congress? मैं तो यही सवाल पूछ रही हूँ ना कि भाजपा ने इनके साथ हाथ जोड़कर सरकार चलाई थी नागपुर निकाय की. उसका जवाब देना. ये क्या बेवकूफी की बात बार बार कर रहे हैं? उसका जवाब दे. ये भाजपा ने क्यों इनके साथ हाथ जोड़ा था? आप महबूबा मुफ्ती के साथ भी हाथ जोड़ के सरकार चला लेंगे. जब सरकार जाएगी तो आप उनको गैंग का सदस्य बता देंगे. आप यहां पर भी ये करेंगे, आप असम में भी ये करेंगे, आप मणिपुर में भी ये करेंगे. लेकिन यहां पर आप बच नहीं सकते हैं. आप सावरकर की 2 नेशन की थ्योरी को जिन्ना ने बढ़ाया. पहले उनके साथ थे. अडवाणी जी 2005 में जाके उनकी बड़ाई करते हैं. अटल जी ने इनके मंत्री को भेजा. अब आप ये सारे क्रेडेंशियल्स बता रहे हैं, तो इनके साथ भाजपा ने क्यों हाथ मिलाया था? इसका जवाब तो मिलना चाहिए ना. सत्तारूढ़ दल है. जवाब नहीं तो इनकी है, हमारी
Mr. Poonawala, if you'd like to respond to her before I bring in
आईना साफ करते रहते हैं.
Before I bring in Rahul Srivastava.
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री बोलते हैं स्वस्थ लोकतंत्र की परिचय संवाद होता है. चाहे सवाल किसी का भी हो, मैं उसको शान से उसका जवाब दूंगा. मैं किसी के सवाल से घबराता नहीं हूं, ना अपने आप को परिवारवादी समझता हूं. उन्होंने कहा कि 2012 में 1 मिनट के लिए मान लेते दैट वी हैड एन अलायंस विद देम. 1 minute, let's assume that we had an alliance with them. So why are they having alliance with a party that is doing alliance with us? इतना आइडियोलॉजी है ना इनका सेकुलर. तो हाउ कम somebody who's doing alliance with us is secular for them? Point number 2, we have never had alliance with them, but I am asking fundamental question, and especially to Supriya ji, because she's such a...
Nagpur 2012, you did take the support. BJP,
we have not taken.
BJP took
You show me the letter.
There are newspapers. There are reports.
Newspaper cutting होने दीजिए ना. तो
there are reports that said two votes you've taken, 2 support you've taken.
जी, न्यूज़पेपर रिपोर्ट तो बहुत सारी है. आप मुझे ऑफिशियल न्यूज़पेपर रिपोर्ट पे समर्थन नहीं दिया जाता ना. समर्थन is given by official party letterhead. You show me the letterhead of BJP asking support or them giving support. I'll give you the stand. But I'm telling you a more important and fundamental question, Gaurav ji. Gaurav ji, I have not interrupted. मेरे 30 सेकंड बाकी है, Gaurav ji. Gaurav ji, मेरे 30 सेकंड बाकी है. Gaurav ji, मेरे 30 सेकंड बाकी है. Gaurav ji, मैं केवल एक ही सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ. गौरव जी, मैं इस प्रकार से जनता को सुनाई नहीं देगा. गौरव जी, मेरा एक ही सवाल है. A party which officially advocates for Sharia law, does Congress support Sharia or Samvidhan? From there we will know that whether they consider Sharia to be secular, and therefore what is their conception. And lastly, सावरकर जी तो वो महा व्यक्ति है जिनको उद्धव जी ही नहीं, स्वर्गीय इंदिरा जी ने कहा है स्वर्णिम अक्षरों में कि उनकी क्या मानता रही है. तो सुप्रिया जी, कृपया करके, अभी नेहरू जी को तो आपने डाल दिया जहां डालना था, इंदिरा जी को तो मत डालिए.
फाइल्स खुल गई तो सच सामने आ गया।
Okay, I want to quickly bring in.
तब क्लासिफाइड फाइल्स खुली नहीं थी, जब क्लासिफाइड फाइल्स खुली ना।
अरे 70-80 के दशक में यशवंतराव चौहान, 70 के दशक में शरद राव पवार, 90 के दशक में नरसिम्हा राव, 90 के दशक में उद्धव सेना के उद्धव संस्थापक आज के दशक में कहते हैं कि वो सबसे महानतम व्यक्ति थे। आप कहती है क्लासिफाइड फाइल्स में थी, ये कौन सी क्लासिफाइड?
I want to bring in Rahul Srivastav and all faders for the next 30 seconds go down except Rahul Srivastav. Rahul Srivastav, just glance at the IUML manifesto of the last elections. It promises to bring benefits to Muslims, protect Waqf properties, provide financial aid for marriages of Muslim orphans. Is this secularism?
Gaurav, any party, political party, which operates within the tenets of the Indian Constitution, there are several parties in India which may demand something like this. If you pick up old manifestos of Samajwadi Party, even that will have certain degree of special benefits sought for the Muslims. In several states, you will find Mamata Banerjee, TRS, the BRS, or Jagan Mohan Reddy's parties. They do have certain special emphasis. IOML, in its stated agenda, is a party which is striving for the minority benefits. That element apart, over the last few years, it has not come out openly targeting Hindus or any other community in the country. And that is how they have insulated themselves from the barbs which were there. And that is why, if you see in the last couple of years, there has been certain very strong outreach in Kerala by parties, by groups like the RSS. But the fact about this, my problem is with this secular communal tags being given. In history till today and the contemporary politics, we find political parties issue these certificates depending on what bedfellow they have, political bedfellow they have. They will today call PDP communal, tomorrow they will go with them. Shiv Sena may be the Mahabhakta of Savarkar, but today Congress has no problem with them. These are things which change with politics. So what Vajpayee did at one time, primarily because right-wing organizations were being targeted by the government, so there could be people coming together. These things change. I think the bigger issue here is that if Rahul Gandhi says that IUML is secular, then the BJP needs to eventually look into it. Are there certain serious charges? Is a mere demand for Sharia implementation being communal? That is political interpretation. But the fact is, it's Rahul Gandhi is addressing a
Okay, Rahul Gandhi is addressing his constituency. You say, stay with me for a moment. Shehzad Poonawala, Supriya Srinath raised the point. Lal Krishna Advani had no problem visiting Jinnah's mazar in Pakistan, called him secular, called him brand ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity. Politically, that may have sealed his fate. But if Jinnah was secular, despite creating Pakistan, why target Rahul Gandhi for giving a certificate to an Indian political party if Advani could say Jinnah is secular?
First of all, that statement was misquoted, but in that statement, the Congress demanded Mr. Advani resign from presidentship, and he resigned from that presidentship. And on the basis of Congress's set standards, I am asking that if Jinnah, in their opinion, making a statement like that led to a resignation of somebody, Rahul Gandhi goes and says Jinnah की पूरी पार्टी सेक्युलर है, अब इस पर स्टैंड लीजिए कि राहुल गांधी को क्या क्या करना चाहिए. वैसे डिस्क्वालीफाई तो हो चुके, तो त्याग देने के लिए कुछ बचा नहीं, पर अपने ही निर्धारित किए गए पैमाने के आधार पर सुप्रिया जी बताएं जो आडवाणी जी से तब डिमांड किया था, आज क्या डिमांड कर रहे हैं. और मैं एक और बार पूछ रहा हूं उनसे बड़े विनम्रता से, सुप्रिया जी, कि आप शरिया से चलती हैं या संविधान से चलती हैं, और जो शरिया से चलता है वो आपके मायने में सेक्युलर है या नहीं है? सिंपल सवाल है जी.
And Supriya Srinath, in case the Indian Union Muslim League is secular, are parties working for Hindu welfare, or parties which may be called the Hindu Mahasabha, are they equally secular for the Congress?
देश तो संविधान से ही चलेगा, और संविधान की कितनी भी धज्जियां भारतीय जनता पार्टी उड़ाने की कोशिश करे, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. The very foundation of our democracy is our constitution, our most sacred text. But just to remind this gentleman here, Aslam Khan and Ishrat Ansari were the two IUML people you inducted in your governance from IUML in Nagpur. Just to place it on record here, यहाँ आके झूठ नहीं बोलना चाहिए। और क्योंकि
बाबूलाल
संविधान
चौरसिया
याद
को
आ ही
आपने
गया है,
इंडक्ट
तो
किया, हिंदू
संविधान
महासभा
की
से
एक और
गोडसे
बात
का
याद
मंदिर
दिला
बनाने
दीजिए।
वाला था वो।
ये 1983 की क्रिकेट विनिंग वर्ल्ड कप टीम है और इन्होंने आज बोला है कि बेटियों के साथ न्याय होना चाहिए। संविधान भी यही कहता है। प्रधानमंत्री को 2021
मैडम ये चिन्मय श्रीपदा है, वहां पर तो एफआईआर हो गई। चिन्मय श्रीपदा एफआईआर की मांग कर रही है। 17 केसेस उस व्यक्ति ने किए हैं। डीएमके और कांग्रेस की सरकार उनको बचाती है। अपने आप से पूछना चाहता हूं, वहां पर तो एफआईआर हुआ, वहां पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए, वहां पर पुलिस ने इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया, पर चिन्मय श्रीपदा
all faders go down. We stay on the issue. I am sorry, we stay on the issue today. We stay on the debate. No digressing from the issue from either side. But Rahul Srivastava, what's the bigger message that emerges from Rahul Gandhi's attack on the government from the United States of America? The bigger picture so far. No, I'm sorry, we stay on the issue. We stay on the issue. Mr. Poonawala. Rahul Srivastava, please.
See, Gaurav, my problem is that I am bound by the India Today service rules, so I'm only answerable to you. You have to ask me the question.
Absolutely. Rahul Srivastava, if we were to look at the CBI FIR in the Marad case, the FIR that was submitted before the Ernakulam Chief Judicial Magistrate Court, it not only names the IUML leaders, but also accuses them of funding, conspiring, and executing the riots. Does that fall in the category of secular, or is this just vote bank politics at play?
You see, Gaurav, that's what I have been maintaining, that despite aberrations or despite intents, political parties have this habit of issuing these credentials, secular and communal. Tomorrow you may be called communal, somebody may be called communal primarily because it suits them. Eventually, for example, I have a query. For example, you asked the Jinnah question. At one time, Balasaheb Thackeray, after the Babri demolition, while Advani called it the biggest mistake of his life, the demolition, and he was never prepared for it, Balasaheb Thackeray was brave enough to say that he's proud of, and it was his men, Kar Sevaks, who did it. So, can Balasaheb Thackeray be called secular or communal today? That is one. These kind of political questions are out in the field. Now, the problem here is political parties don't stick to ideological lines. Advani said Jinnah was secular, he paid for it. The party went against him and he had to pay for it. What he was trying was a secular makeover at that time because the poster boy of the Ram Janmabhoomi Rath Yatra wanted to be more inclusive and perhaps be an Atal Bihari Vajpayee of that period. And he paid for it. So these are questions in a polity that eventually what we do. For example, you asked Pinarayi Vijayan element is a very interesting thing. That the CPM and the Congress are allies in West Bengal, so they did differently. In Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan calls the IUML communal. In fact, says that Jamaat Ulama Hind and PFI slogans are being adopted by IUML. Now, how does one, take out the tangle? So eventually, I believe the stronger element is its political suitability at any given point of time.
I will let that be the last word.
References.
I will let that be the last word on this part of the show. Supriya Srinath, Shehzad Poonawala and Rahul Srivastava for joining me here on India Today. Many thanks. So no permanent enemies, no permanent friends, only permanent political interests here. A quick break. Coming up next, India Today's probe sparks call for Tihar jail overhaul. The BJP, the Aam Aadmi Party, experts, we get you their reactions to Operation Tihar.
India Today Conclave South 2023, India's biggest ideas fest. Listen to Pinarayi Vijayan, Chief Minister Kerala, Amitabh Kant, Kamal Hassan, Rana Daggubati, P. Chidambaram, Asaduddin Owaisi, K.R. Suresh Reddy, K. Annamalai, Justice Kurian Joseph, Justice Jasti Chelameshwar, and many more. Watch live indiatodayconclave.com/south.
There's a new club in Hollywood, the Old Dads Club. And leading the pack, a Godfather duo, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. 83-year-old star Al Pacino sent shockwaves across the globe, announcing his fourth child with 29-year-old girlfriend Noora Falla. Pacino and his girlfriend have allegedly been dating since the COVID-19 pandemic era, and this will be their first child. Just days before Pacino announced his impending fatherhood, his Godfather co-star and Hollywood legend Robert De Niro had his own surprise. 79-year-old De Niro casually announced to the world that he had become a father for the 7th time with his 45-year-old girlfriend Tiffany Chen. And the internet is abuzz with memes over the news of Al Pacino's new journey. Some are even calling it a competition between the two Hollywood icons. But clearly, 83-year-old Al Pacino has outdone his close friend Robert in the dad stakes, proving age is just a number. Bureau Report, India Today.
Quality today. In Delhi, 93. In Mumbai, 70. In Kolkata, 118. In Bangalore, 44. In Chennai, 198. In Hyderabad, 69.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.
India Today's scrutiny exposes glaring lapses in Tihar Central Jail's security. An investigation by India Today has exposed grave lapses that may actually have led to a surge in the deadly violence within the jail premises. We bring you this India Today special report.
10 मिनट बाद जिसने मेरे पास रात को फोन करा था डीएस ने, अब मैं नहीं आऊंगा, 10 मिनट बाद वो भी आ लिया.
Unaccounted attendance.
अलार्म मैंने जाकर के बजाया था.
अच्छा, आपने जाकर बजाया?
हाँ, अलार्म खराब पाया.
Alarms gone silent.
यार्ड का स्टाफ सुबह आता है.
अच्छा.
स्टाफ जो है